Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a new Cardfight Vanguard video for you guys today. And today we're doing something a little bit different. While we've been covering all of the Destined ones that they've been coming out, this week we actually got the announcement of Harry, the Pale Moon Stride deck set. Well, we got some of the cards. Unfortunately, we didn't get any of their strides, neither with the Night Rose, so unfortunately we can't try those decks out. So those are going to be for a later video. But today I want to bring you guys my new build for Gandiva. So, guys, I've been looking for a deck that really suits me. As you guys know, in D, my favorite deck has been Bafsagra. But even Bafsagra is not the playstyle I've necessarily been looking for. In Cardfight Vanguard, from the very beginning, I've been a Kagero player. And my favorite deck to date was Dragonic Blade Master. That was my boy. That was my GOAT. And I've been looking for a deck that is more Vanguard-centric, that has a strong emphasis on board control. Unfortunately, there is no deck in the game that's like that. The closest one being probably Welstra, where it can get a lot of attacks. It is still pretty Vanguard focused, being basically around Welstra and the products. And it does have a strong amount of board control and a lot of pressure. But I was also looking for something like that in Dragon Empire, since Dragon Empire is kind of what I started with. And it's also what I have the most physical cards with. Well, a friend of mine told me to take another look at Gandiva, and Gandiva did get some new support shared with Eugene, and some of it's actually pretty solid. It is a little bit weird to play around with some of it, but once you get the hang of it, this deck goes ham. I'm talking 5 attacks a turn, heavy retirement, a lot of advantage, and this is the build that I came up with after some playtesting, and I took it to my locals, and I actually went undefeated against some of the current decks. One of the big ones being Varga Dragras. So I thought I'd share it with you guys, talk about it, tell you why I chose some of the cards I chose. And yeah, let's jump in. So up first, of course, is the ride line. This ride line is Fuego. You can use any starter you want. I used Arhinsa because I have Arhinsa SP and it's gorgeous. And again, you guys know I love my Basagra. As for our grade 1 and 2, we went with the Vajura ride line because this ride line's bonkers. It's generic and it's good in just about everything. But the grade 1 Vajura, Soul Blast 1, you get to ride the grade 2 for free. Fire, because that lets you save a lot of your early game advantage and lets you not feel so bad if you have to guard early. But the big one is the grade 2 Vajara, Shooting Star Vajara. When this unit is rode upon, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose one grade 2 from among them, reveal it, add it to your hand. If you rode the grade 3 Vajara, you get to check anything. Obviously, we're not playing the grade 3, we're playing Gandiva, but the grade 2s in this deck are baller. Between Alfcar and Durgem, you have your options for going first or going second, and they basically allow you to facilitate your combos. Just being able to get that one search makes this deck so much easier to turn on, because once you start getting your grade 2s out, that's when you really start going ham. All right, as for the rest of the deck, I'll cover the triggers first. Pretty basic, 8 crit. We have a Vanguard that gains a crit already, so we can really shit out the damage. I was playing draw triggers because this is a combo-oriented deck, but as we get into the deck, you'll see why I chose not to. But we went with front triggers for more defense, and we actually don't need as much draw power as I thought we did. And of course, this is one of the decks where the Dragon Empire overtrigger is insane because, you know, crit Vanguard. Obviously, our 3 Persona rides, we're still playing the 1 Sturgna, though I do feel at this point this card can probably come off the restricted list, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. We are still playing Scarlet Flame War General Ray Valden. I don't like how many grade 3s this deck has to play, but it really does have to play them because you still want to be able to get to your as many buttons as possible to really put your power through the roof. And of course, your 5 on your first grade 3 trying to get your crit. I'm gonna do a quick talk real quick about all the cards. If you already know all these effects, you guys can fast forward a little bit. For the people that don't know exactly what this deck is trying to do, I'm gonna go over real quick. So Gandiva's skill: when your opponent's rear guards are tired during your turn, you choose a card from your drop and you bind it face down. It's either by effect, by battle, it doesn't matter. You bind a card face down. The reason is, during your turn, all your front row units get plus 2,000 power for each face down card in your bind zone. If you have at least 5, this unit gets plus 1 critical. So you want to keep on binding and binding and binding to keep on raising your power level higher and higher. Last skill: act Vanguard once per turn, counterblast 1. You choose 5 of your opponent's rear guards with different grades. Obviously, if you can't choose 5, you choose up to. You always do as much as you can. you reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. And for each grade that you match, you get to retire that target. If you retired 1 or less, you get to draw a card and you get to bind 1 from your draw. So honestly, the best amount to hit with this is to retire 1, unless you use a card like Best Harvest, but we'll get into that in a second. Because you get to draw a card and then you get to bind 2. Because you bind 1 for the retire and you bind 1 because you only retired 1 or less. Sturgna. When this is placed on rearguard, if you have a Gandiva Vanguard, you Soul Blast 1, you bind 1 of your own rearguards. You choose one of your opponent's rearguards, retire it. If you do not retire a rearguard, you draw a card, you bind 1. So no matter what, you're getting your 2 binds, and it gets you another card into the drop so you can bind it later. Because you get to bind 1 of your rearguards. So just these 2 alone usually can get you 3 to 4 binds just by themselves. Alright. Revolden. When this card is revealed by Gandiva's skill off the top 5, it counts as a grade 1 and a grade 2 as well as a grade 3. So it really helps you to hit those numbers to make sure you get your retires. And then when he attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Gandiva in its card name, you bind a card from your hand face down, you choose one of your opponent's rearguards to retire it. If you do not retire a rearguard, you get to draw a card and he gets 5,000 power. You'll see that's a big theme where there's a lot of retire effects, and then if you can't retire, you get to do even more. So it's like it encourages board wiping, but it's usually better if your opponent doesn't have any rearguards. So this is one of our older support cards, Drag Raider Alfcar. This one's been around for a while. When your Vanguard with Gandiva attacks, when your Vanguard with Gandiva attacks a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, counterblast 1, bind this unit face down, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 3 or less unit from among them, call it to rearguard, shuffle your deck. This allows you to get easy 4th attack, sometimes 5th if you have 2 of them. The deck doesn't counterblast nearly as much as it used to, and we still have a built-in countercharger. Drag Raider Dirgem. This thing really helps this deck, though I think it was more meant for Eugene, and you'll see why in a second. When this unit is placed on rearguard, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Eugene or Gandiva in its card name, you Soul Blast 1, you Energy Blast 3. Choose one of your opponent's rearguards, retire it. If you do not retire a rearguard, you draw a card, and this unit gets the skill. Once per turn, at the end of the battle that your Vanguard attack, choose one of your front row rearguards and stand it until end of turn. If you played a normal order this turn, this unit also gets boost. Here's why this is nuts. If you're going first, this is your best friend. Because if you have 2 of them, you can get 5 attacks on your first grade 3 ride, regardless of what happens to your opponent's board. Well, granted, you have to be able to wipe their board. But it also pairs really good with Revolden, because you can attack with Revolden, bind 1 from hand, draw a card, gain 5k for the battle, so now you get another bind. Then when you swing at your Vanguard, because it doesn't have to restand itself, it restands a rearguard. It can restand itself, but it doesn't have to. You can restand the Revolden, swing with the Revolden, bind another card from hand, draw another card, gain another 5k power for that battle. So it allows you to keep on getting your binds as well. We have our PGs, and you can see at the bottom we have our Elementary Sanctitude. Shenri is just a great early game card. It's one of the best boosters in Dragon Empire, easy stable. Bouncing is our countercharger. When your Vanguard Gandiva in its card name attacks, if you have 3 or more bound, you bind it face down, countercharge 1, not once per turn. So what I mean is you can use multiple copies of it if you need to countercharge a bunch. A lot of countercharges usually say if you didn't countercharge this turn, then you can countercharge. We're also playing Stormbrand Dragon. This is another newer card. I believe this is a promo. When this unit is placed on rearguard, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Eugene or Gandiva in its card name, Energy Blast 3, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. If you did not retire it, draw a card, and this unit gets 5,000 power till end of turn. At the beginning of your battle phase, if your opponent's rearguard was retired, stay in this unit. That's a Eugene skill. We're playing 3 Best Harvest. During your main phase, whenever you retire one of your opponent's rearguards, you have to draw a card. So since this is a heavy retire deck, you can draw a shitload of cards. Radiance Caliburn. This can actually be just about any other Regalis piece or another tech card if you want. We're using Radiance Caliburn for now. That's the one I ended up using when I took it to locals. Originally, I had Angel Ladder in here because there's a Shiranui player at my locals, but he decided not to play it, so I was just like, worried, I'm just going to play Radiance Caliburn. I'd rather play that anyway. Truth be told, I'd rather it be Forbid Doll, but that's a really expensive card right now, and I do not have the cash to dish out for that. Defensive Roar. Defensive Roar is a solid card if you have the space for it. Nothing feels better than using Defensive Roar on an over trigger to block an attack, then bounce it back down so you can block another one, and of course, Elementary Sanctitude. Now, one thing you'll notice right away with this deck, we are not running Energy Blast Cyclers. We can, but I can't believe I'm going to say this. This deck was drawing too much. Before I put the Storm Brands in, I had Energy Blast Cyclers. I actually was running only 2 Counter Chargers and then 4 Energy Cyclers. I was drawing too much, and they weren't giving me enough with what I needed to do. I needed more ways to retire, be able to get my combos off, and I needed ways to help kill my opponent because all I was doing was surviving until I decked out. Stormbrand helps with that because I can play Stormbrand to retire a rearguard, which then allows me to play Durgem so I can get Durgem's restand instead of having to use Durgem to retire. Because that's the biggest downside to Durgem is my opponent has to have no rearguards for me in order to get the restand. So, again, really good card going first because a lot of times your opponent's not going to call it a board unless you're playing against a rush deck, in which case you're going to get all your binds. And then Alfcar is better going second because your opponent's at grade 3, and you can now get extra attacks that way. The deck is really, really solid, but I can't wait to show it to you guys. So, enough from me. Let's go find a game. All right, guys, we got a game, and it looks like we're going first. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. All right. With the hand we got, we don't want this guy because he doesn't work until our opponent's at grade 3. We don't really need this because we're not going to counterblast too much, and we want to try and get some of our other cards. So we're going to send all that back. That is an awful hand. I fucking hate Best Harvest, and I love it at the same time. Like, it's a great card, but God, does it suck, especially if your opponent doesn't play a lot of rear guards early. Ugh, I don't want to keep any of this by defensive roar. Well, we are playing against a Keter deck. This could be both be really good for us and really bad. Because a lot of my restand, oh, it's Bastion. It's kind of like right in the middle for us. No guard. Y'all ever hear me say this game hates me? That's gonna be the theme of that. All right. Skill, Soul Blast 1. We get to ride for free. We're gonna call and we'll go battle phase, swing. I assume he's gonna guard. All right. Drive check. Grade 3. All right. Swing, skill, it's going to give 5k, so we're still going to be able to hit. So now he has to guard or take the damage. All right. Skill, into the soul. And that's why Shinri is such a good early game card. Because it forces your opponent to either take extra damage or to drop extra cards. Now, I want him to call rear guards. I don't know if he's going to. We're probably going to ditch one of the Best Harvest 4 ride. And then hope we hit our grade 2s on the top 7. Alright, so he's revealing that. That way he can get his skills off from his ride line. Oh, he called a rear guard. Vanguard. Alright, we're gonna guard that. OT to pass. That's fine, we'll just end up guarding that too. I didn't want to, but better than taking 2 damage early. Alright, we're gonna ditch one of the Best Harvests because we don't need both. We're gonna ride. We're gonna check our top 7. We'll add a grade 2. We got Durgem, which is exactly the one we wanted. Now we're gonna go to main phase. We're gonna play Best Harvest here because he's playing Bastion, so I'm not gonna be able to target his grade 3s after this. We might as well just get the draw 2 here. Skill, Counter Blast 1, top 5. We got a grade 3. Retire. Well, now we send all these back. Shuffle. Now we get to bind 2. And we get to draw 2. I'm not okay with the OT, but I am okay with what everything else we got. So we're gonna move this back. I think. So we'll get +4. Here's what we'll do. We'll call Shenri. We'll wait on Shenri. Let's call Durgem first. See what we get off the top. So we Energy Blast 3. Soul Blast 1. and we get the draw. And since he has no rear guards, we get our restand skill. Oh my god, we got another dirge. So we're gonna call dirge skill. Go blast 1. Energy blast 3. Get a draw, and now both of our restands up. And now these guys gain +4. So they can actually do things. And our Vanguard gains +4. So we don't need a we don't get our crit because we couldn't get enough binds. But we kept a decent sized hand, and now we get 5 attacks. We're gonna swing 14 to Vanguard. I didn't like that, but we'll see what happens here. 27. That's fine. Skill. Soul. Draw. Swing. Skill. Restand. And we're going to hope for a trigger so that way our right side can hit. So that's 30. Well, that's not hitting. Okay, it's, well, 2 to pass technically. First check. Come on, one trigger. Oh. Well, this can still hit at least. Unfortunately, we can't control damage triggers. Trigger luck is something I never have in this game. One trigger would have made that last attack able to actually hit, so we would have dealt another damage or force another card out of hand. And it looks like he's sitting on a lot of grade 3s, which is a common problem with Bastion. We have an okay amount of defense. Not going to push too hard with Bastion on turn 3. We have Persona Ride. We have a 5 attack turn coming up next turn. We still have 2 intercepts to guard with. Yeah, we're good. We do want to take 1 damage to be able to have enough. Oh, no, we don't even need to do that. We have an extra counter charger in our hand. We could literally take no damage right now and still get not only be able to use Gandiva's Retire, but still get 5 attacks with the way our hand is set up. And we'll get to 5 binds on our following turn. So let's see what happens. Okay, so perform all the following according to the number of grade 3 units. He has 3 grade 3 units, so he draws a card and one of his units gets 5. Oh wait, this counts as a grade 3 as well. So it gets drive +1. Oh. Alright, this counts as a grade 3. Yep. This could be a problem. This could be a problem. Alright, so that's 28. That's 30. He's gonna restand that and probably give it a drive next. So we kind of want to guard it. We probably want to guard it. We'll take this one. I am so happy I got that damage trigger. I can't even describe it. Alright, so 18 to my 23. That's already 1 to pass. That's also 1 to pass. We want to clear the way for our other grade 2s. Alright, we're good. Give it to the rear guard so that he's going to restand and probably give a drive check too. Or actually, it'll have twin drive, won't it? He has to discard a Bastion. Yeah. Alright, that's fine. OT. Sweet. Alright, and then he's got his last attack coming, 28. Guard that. Gains 5,000, that's fine, that's 38. Perfect. Alright, now we gotta push back hard. So we got Gandiva. We go to main phase, use Gandiva's skill. Counterblasts, top 5. Alright, that. We get to bind 1, draw 1. The rest of it can't. So Bastion makes it so I can't target any of his front row. It's fine. Fine. Draw. Now we call everything. Call, 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 and call. And everything gets +6, right? Yep. 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6, and then 2, 4, 6. All right, let's do this. Battle phase. Swing. I just shouldn't have called Shenry. I should have kept that in my hand for guard, because I can't stop both of these. I don't think either one of them has intercept. So 34, 28, 43. Sounds good. 34 again. That Persona ride hit different. Yeah, that was probably the smartest play. Now we're gonna swing, skills, bind, countercharge, skills, counterblast, top 5. Didn't mean to do that, but I'll call that. And skill, bind, top 5, call, deck shuffle, skill, energy blast 3. I can't retire one of his rear guards, so I draw a card and gain power +5. And now our front row gains +14. Because we have so many bound. And our Vanguard, who had +6, now gained +8. And a crit. And he no guarded. So twin drive. First check. Second. Power here, crit to Vanguard. We put the power on this rear guard since this one can power himself up. But he's got to take 3 damage, even though he got a heal trigger. Yeah. Super aggressive. Alright guys, here's one more look at the deck. As you guys saw, we kind of bullied that Bastion player. We were way too aggressive for him to be able to keep up. Sorry that my camera was kind of cutting off my hand a little bit. I'll adjust my camera next time so that way that won't happen again. But yeah, lots of draw power, lots of retire. Even though we couldn't retire my opponent's front row, it really didn't matter, because honestly, that having rear guards that we can't hit is the same as our opponent having no rear guards, which actually turns a lot of our skills on. So that gives us more attacks, that gives us more draw. We had plenty of defense. Even with the only thing I don't like about this deck is probably the large number of grade 3s. I might modify it, like I might take out some of these orders. I mean, defensive war is really good, but I don't know if we need Radiance Caliburn. Maybe I'll cut out one Bravalden, though I do really like this card. And I just wish there was something better than Best Harvest, but there's not. But if you guys are trying out Gandiva, let me know what you guys are doing for text. Let me know what style of deck you guys think I should try out. I told you at the beginning of the video what kind of deck I'm trying to do. And let me know if you guys think I should try another deck. If you guys want to see me play with these decks live, I stream on twitch.tv/ZaphicHell or here on YouTube on Tuesdays. My schedule is about to change up, so I don't know if it's still going to be at noon. So it might be a little bit later in the day. I will keep you guys posted once I know for sure when that's going to be, so keep an eye out for that. If you guys want to check me out on social media, those links are down below. That's it from me. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.